Hello YouTube, my name is Love, and today I'm going to be showcasing you guys my Malice deck that I performed over the weekend at the Minneapolis Regional. I decided to take Malice to the Regional because it was the deck I was the most comfortable with, and I felt like it was going to be less representative over at the Regional, which actually it kind of was over the other two decks, which were like Fiendsmith variants and Ryzeal. Ryzeal was definitely more representative over there since it was kind of like the easier deck to pilot. But I wanted to take Malice because it was the deck, of course, that I had the most fun with. I was gonna play Ryzeal, but I was just like, no, I kind of want to be a little bit different, just play Malice. And I've been practicing the deck for at least like a month now before even its release. And not kidding you, the regional was literally the day after crossover breakers, so I had to hurry up and find everything for Malice beforehand and play the deck at the regional on Saturday. I performed well. Really happy with my results. I went 6-2 at the regional, only losing to Fiendsmith Yubel and Fiendsmith Kashtira, which actually won the whole tournament. Believe it or not, really that deck is like a lot. There's a lot of resources and a lot of grind in the game, so that deck is just really good somehow. A lot of hand traps that they play and a lot of stuff that they play in the deck as well. A lot of recurring things that happen but nonetheless, had a lot of fun. Got top 14th out of 248 players. So top 32 gets invite, and I actually got my invite. So really happy about that. That is probably my best placement or my best ranking at a regional. So thank God for that. Thank God for getting my invitation as well. But I thought it'd be a good idea to showcase you guys my Malice deck profile and just kind of give you guys some insight of what I played. I did play 41 cards in the main. I had to add some extra cards because I needed to uh, be more defensive. And I'll kind of just show you guys what I played for the deck. So starting from the top, I played 3 Dormouse, the best starter in the deck, basically, in my opinion. And it also gives all your Malice monsters signature attack for the turn, which is really good. And the card you always want to banish off of Dormouse is White Rabbit, so we played 3 White Rabbit, which is also another good starter, because on summon it could set a trap from the deck, but it can also not set the trap that you also have in the graveyard, so if you're playing like 2 extra copies of the trap that you're playing, or that you want to set, you actually can't set it. I wish this card could actually set from the graveyard too, but of course you gotta have some balance in between. And then of course, Chessy Cat, I only played 2. In testing, I wanted to play 3, but if you kind of think about it, she doesn't really do much on summon besides drawing 2 cards. And even at times where I did want to draw 2 cards, it would get ashed, or sometimes it would get impermed. But again, there's nothing wrong with drawing 2 cards at all. It's just that if you don't have these names, there's nothing really you can do. There would be times where I just have this in hand, and then that's it. And I had no other Malice card to kind of draw 2 off of. So that was just kind of unfortunate. But overall, like, it was fine playing 2. I really wanted to play 3, but just didn't have room. I'm glad I did cut it down, but there were just times where I did need a third one, just to kind of extend a little more. But it was okay. 1 Dotscaper and 1 Kodo Soul. These are your Cyberse extenders. Kodo Soul is just a free summon if you control a Link monster. And then on your opponent's turn, you can banish it to make a Link 3 monster on your opponent's turn if you have the materials for it, or Link 3 or higher. And then Dotscaper, this guy was like in my hand like once or twice, which is a good thing because I always want it in the deck. Most of the time it was in the deck when I was playing against my matches or playing in my matches. And it was just nice to just play these 2 cards. You're definitely going to need to play 2 cards. I know in Supreme Darkness, I think, I might be wrong, there's going to be another Cyberse we're going to be playing. And that card can actually like banish like one of your Malice cards or just any Cyberse in the grave, and then it takes that name, as well as it can be used as link material. So that's really good too as well, since it can also extend on your plays. So can't wait for that card to come out in Supreme Darkness. That's all your like main deck cards or your main deck monsters that you play. So we're gonna move on to the spells. We played 3 Malice and Underground and then 1 extra. It was nice playing the extra because I was in testing. I was really debating about taking this out because your Link 3 monster, your Red Ransom, already searches you the Malice field spell, but times where it got ashed or impermed, terraforming came in clutch where I was just like, oh, terraforming, I need it because I need to play Malice and Underground. Also, it's also a starter. So you if you don't have any other Malice card besides this in your hand or not the monsters, you can activate this and then banish from anywhere except the field. So it's just nice to play Malice and Underground. It also has like somewhat of a floodgate where if your opponent is going to attack a monster, they have to attack the Mouse Link monsters. It's not like Nightmare Pain where they're forced to attack, but at times where they did have to attack, they kind of had to back off because Red Ransom actually like changes their effect, which I'll actually go through once we get to the extra deck monsters. Um, Two Signet Mining, if you kind of think about it as well, Two Signet was fine for me, and there was not really a lot of names that you had to choose from for Signet Mining since there was only four names you wanted to get, or five names, including Dotscaper. Dotscaper, you didn't really want to add it, you kind of wanted to keep it in deck, but at times you are going to search for Chessy Cat, or Dormouse, or White Rabbit, or even Coda Soul at times. But it was just good to have a searcher for Cyrus monsters, just in case if you didn't see them. So these were just like extra copies, just in case. But you did have to send a card from your hand to the graveyard to activate as cost. Uh, One Allure Darkness. This could have been talents. I only saw like maybe like once or twice, and then going second, I took it out to play my going second cards. But this should have been talents. Talents would have been just way better, just to kind of break boards a little bit better. And you could potentially draw into talents too, because you draw a lot in this deck. You potentially draw like 3 to like 4 cards in a turn, which is really good. But could have bumped this up to 2 if I was playing Chessy Cat at 3, but decided to play it at 1 and kind of play that out. And then a card that's just like Malice and Underground, Gold Sarcophagus. You just banish one of your Malice monsters and then just use their effect to summon them. So yeah, that's basically it. For the Malice traps, we play one of each of the Malice traps. So TB11, GWC06, and MTP07. TB11 was definitely the card to set off of White Rabbit to start your combos off. So, but a lot of the times I did use GWC because this card won me a lot in games I went into time. So what I would do is some of my Malice Link monsters, banish them and or activate this and then banish them and then bring them back from the banish so I can gain life points. And then at times where I did go into time, this helped me a lot to win games over my opponent because I had more life points than them. So was thinking about bumping this up to 2, but playing one of each of the traps is just fine since you can always just reset them. So the non-engine that I played 3 Ash, 3 Fualos. This was gonna be Perulia, but I mean we're summoning from the extra deck and deck most of the time, and this is just really good to play over Perulia. So I decided to play this instead. 3 Imperm, 2 Nibiru. There's a reason why I'm playing 2, which I'll show later. 3 Bystials, or one of each of the Bystials, 1 Druis, 1 Baldrake, 1 Magnemite. These are also extenders that you can use for your Malice monsters, since you can use this to banish your Malice monster and then summon them off of the banish. So that's also really good to have as well. This is also good against Fiendsmith too. 2 Droll. I wanted to play 3 Droll because after playing Droll after the regional, I realized how much it hurt most of the decks, and every time that I did have Droll, it won me games. So really, really happy about playing this, and I should have played this at 3. I was so mad that I did not play it at 3 because this stopped a lot of decks from playing games. And then I'm playing really defensive, which of course because I'm playing pure. I'm playing 3 Crossout, and then the 41st card in the deck is called by. Um, Shout outs to my friend Lang. He was telling me because beforehand I was playing 40 with 2 Crossout and then 1 call by, and then he was like, "What is the worst card that you have to play against that you need to side against?" And then I said, Lancia, and he's like, "Okay, So then you play 3 cross out then for the Lancia because that is the card that you're going to lose to the most. And then uh, I figured that yeah he was right, so I decided to bump it up to 41 and play 3 cross out instead, and then also play the call by as well because call by is just that good. So yeah, that is the whole non-engine there and the whole main deck. Yep, 41 cards in the main. Moving on to the extra deck, I played one red ransom, one white binder, and one hearts encryptor. Uh, I summoned hearts like maybe like once or twice. And I did OTK my opponent with it where uh, I'd summon this, and then this would be a 31 because it has the boost off of Dormouse. So then I would attack with this, and then effect to banish, and then I would banish herself, and then bring her back, and she would be at 56, and then that would be OTK already. But only like once or twice. This was like the MVP. White Binder was the MVP, because it could reset your traps from the grave and or set traps from the deck, as well. So, and you can also use this as a way of getting rid of things in the graveyard since a lot of things need to be in the graveyard for things to activate. So, um, White Binder was just good to use all the time because it could just banish anything you want. So. Red Ransom, of course, is the kind of the extender. It's also the searcher of the deck since it searches the Malice spell or the Malice field spell, since that is the only Malice spell we have for the deck. There was a time where, since this was pointing to a monster, and my opponent had Nib on field, he was going to attack my Malice monster since I did have the field spell up. This makes it so that it changes your opponent's monster's attack and defense points. So Nibiru is 3,000 attack and 600 defense, and my opponent was going to attack with Nibiru, but with Nibiru, it's at 600 attack and 3,000 defense. So if he would have attacked, his Nibiru would have died, or or crashed out. So yeah, these are good to play. If I were to bump these up, low key, I would actually play a second white binder since this card is really good. But we're also dealing with cash cards too as well. But that besides the point. One Link Rebo, one Link Decoder. These are just your generic Link ones for level 4 lower Cybers. I should have played Link Spider since I'm actually testing it out right now. I kind of regret not playing it because it's actually such a good card if you're going to extend a little bit more. So Link Decoder and Link Rebo is just what I played at the regional. So Decoder was used a lot because you could use it to extend your plays. And then Link Rebo, I would actually just sometimes bring this out. And then just, if I had other extenders, I would just leave this out just in case for traps. For like Imperm or like Impulse sometimes. So I would just leave that out and try to negate it. Haggard Lizardos. And this is the card that banishes any monster that's 2,000 attack or lower for cost, and then target a face-up monster you control for cost. So already at that point, you can banish it, and then target itself, since that basically is the only monster on the field at the time if you go first. So all you're doing is just banishing like your Malice monsters that haven't been banished yet in the graveyard. So, and then you use this for Link Fodder to make your Red Ransom. 2 Splash Mages. The second one did come up, but again, since I've been testing out Link Spider, I should have taken this out and just played Link Spider instead, but I just wasn't trusting it enough for myself. But I did play 2, and the second one did come up just in case because we did play Transcode Talker. So I would go like Transcode, and then target one of my Malice monsters or Malice Link 3 monsters in Grave, and then summon them back. And then, this would just also gain a boost since it would be co-linked to the monster. And then it can't be targeted as well, so that's also a big plus as well. And then you can also use this to make Terahertz, just because you'll have the monsters for it and to make Terahertz. But it's a good monster reborn for the Link 3s and lower. SP Little Knight, somewhat need this for a combo, so you can banish like your Red Ransom and then bring back your Red Ransom and then banish and then summon a banish the Cybers and then summon the Cybers. So I mean, nothing bad about playing SP. One Firewall Dragon to summon your Cybers from hand as well as adding back cards. There was actually a time where my opponent Fualos me and I ashed it, and I didn't need to draw two or summon the Cyrus or the Chessy Cat to draw two. So what I did was I activated this and then send or targeted back my Ash Blossom back from my graveyard, and then add it back to my hand so I can have it as a hand trap for my opponent's turn. Access code, just to end games faster. The best part is about access code is you can banish like your mouse like monsters and then bring them back. And then that's what's good about access code talker. And then Terahertz, and then the two cards that we played for Terahertz, which is Disable Worm and Aggregator. And then there's a card in the side deck that we had to play for Aggregator as well. Sometimes there was like some fusion targets, but again, you're probably wondering what I'm playing already in the side deck. Terahertz was definitely a really good card. I mean, the Spell and Trap Negate for the Save Worm is really good, and Aggregator is also a really good card as well. This card was also really popular to play in Ryzeal, but it's also good to play it in Maliss. And then, just kind of going through it quickly, for a side deck, I played 3 Prulia, 3 Artifact Lancia. This was for the mirror, but I never played against a mirror at the regional. Surprisingly enough, I did not play the mirror. So 3 talents or 3 triple tactics thrust. Thrust was a really good card too because we would be dealing with Charmies or we would be dealing with other hand traps even. And Thrust is just one of those cards that just helps you set floodgates or even set certain cards that you might need or add certain cards you need. For that, I did play Ultimate Slayer, so I was kind of hinting off that you do play this for Aggregator and to Save Worm. But Aggregator was, of course, used for Ryzeal, and but never actually saw it, unfortunately. Even with Thrust, because I mean, with the other traps we were playing, I was playing D-Barrier. D-Barrier was just the better option, and then DDG for Snake Eye. So again, no shifter, didn't play shifter, wasn't comfortable playing with it yet, or even testing it yet. And then some funny one, I wanted to try this card against Ryzeal, I just never saw it. This could have just been a second D barrier, and I wanted to test it, I just never saw it. Even if I did see it with Thrust, I just never decided to put it in, so it's like, it was a dead card to put in anyway. But I wanted to test it, since technically this was a test run at the regional. And then, of course, Duster. Just in case for back row hate, Duster actually came up like once or twice. It came up actually against Kashtira Invoked, since the dude just summoned Fenrir and then set 4 pass. And then I was just like, okay. So then I top deck Duster, and I just Dustered his back row as 4 cards in the back. So, but yeah, that is the whole deck that I played at the Minneapolis Regional. Few shout outs. Want to give a shout outs to Trip 7 or Team 7. Thank you guys so much, just to kind of boosting me up to go play out for Yu-Gi-Oh! Some of the team members there are really nice. They're really cool. Shout out to my friend Yang for having me go out to the regional and play. I had to make up some time for work since I wanted to play at the regional this past Saturday. Shout out to my friend David O for taking me to the regional. So really happy about that. Thank you guys so much. I wouldn't, you know, you guys been doing so much for me for Yu-Gi-Oh! And I've just been really happy about that. Glad I have you guys as friends to take me to places to play the game that we all know and love. So anyways, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. And hopefully you guys stick around for the whole thing. I know the timer is pretty long at this point, but if you guys stick around until the end, I thank you guys for watching the whole video. But anyways, guys, thank you guys so much for watching again. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you guys enjoyed the deck profile. And I will see you guys next time on a video that I make. So peace out and have a good day.